welcome to our lesson. Let me introduce myself. My name is Mr. Tamaskan. I am one of your biology teacher. Let's start our lesson, which is term 3. It starts from chapter 4. Chapter 4 says microorganisms and disease. As you know, you are familiar with this word microorganisms and disease, which means that the cause and effect are relations. The cause is microbes and the effect is the disease. If there is a microorganisms, finally there is a result known as a disease. There are a variety of microorganisms which is related to a variety of disease. Let's start through lesson. The first one is your textbook says 4.1 microorganisms. It starts from the lesson. There are the objectives at the end of the class each student must accomplish. By the end of this section, you should be able to define microorganisms and list the main types with their place of existence, describe bacteria with their typical structures, explain the useful and harmful effects of bacteria, including ways of transmission. When you come to the next part, microorganisms are tiny living organisms that can't be seen with our naked eye. They can be seen with the aid of microscope, known as one of a biological device or tool. Microorganisms are a living thing which cannot be seen without the help of microscope. They are a single-celled algae, protozoa, bacteria, blue-green algae, virus, some fungi, etc. are some of the microorganisms. Most of microorganisms are useful to plants and animals. Some are harmful, causing a disease and spoilage of food. So, as you know, the health is the normal functioning of the living body. The disease is the impairment of the normal functioning of the body. S is caused by the external factors like parasite or microorganisms and the internal factors. So, microorganisms that cause a disease are called pathogenic microorganisms or pathogens. Those pathogens are capable of incapacitating and killing large organisms by three perspectives. The first one is the ability to multiply to increase their number. The second one is the ability to destroy the tissues of their host. And the third one is the ability of production of toxins or poisonous chemicals. Let's see the second terminology, microbiology. Microbiology is one of a branch of applied science that studies about microorganisms. Microbiologists are a biologist who studies about microorganisms. And finally, a microscope are a biological device which is used to magnify and resolves a specimen. Magnification is the increasing size of an object. You are familiar with this word because you have learned it in chapter 2. And resolving power means the ability of microscope, how much it's able to show is a resolving power. And the microscope have also another main function, which is resolution, scattering the parts of specimen. Specimen is an object to be examined under some microscope. So generally, microorganisms are tiny living organisms that can only be seen with the aid of microscope, which means they are too small. They are too tiny particle sized, which can't be seen with our naked eye. The commonly known microorganisms are bacteria, virus, yeast, mold, and protozoa. Habitats of microorganisms. Where microorganisms were found. Microorganisms are found in everywhere and they reproduce and multiply in many ways. Mainly they are found in air, soil, water, food, and finally on and in the bodies of different organisms including human beings. So in general, microorganisms are found in the zones of Earth and everywhere, whether it is hydrosphere, lithosphere, and atmosphere. So those are places where microorganisms were found, and how those microorganisms can enter into our body. There are different mechanisms in which microorganisms can enter into our body. Let's say the first one is through skin. By penetrating our skin, microorganisms can enter. Through breathing systems, when you can inhale microbial containing oxygens from the atmosphere or from the environment. The third, through reproductive systems. Again, through digestive systems, when we intake the infected foods and drinks. Again, because of dirty hands, unhygienic cooking methods. So those are the main ways in which microorganisms can enter in our body. Let's see one of the main type of microorganisms. The first one is bacteria. Bacteria is one of a single-celled unicellular organisms. This bacteria is mainly it's classified under a kingdom classification known as Monera. This bacteria, if it is Monera, mainly they are prokaryotic, which have no nucleus bounded organelles, and they are mainly not true type of cells. Those bacteria are primitive type of cell, which are much smaller than animal cell and plant cell, but they have many similarities or resemblance which can be similar. Bacteria is mainly made up of their body plan. It contains cytoplasm surrounded by a membrane known as cell membrane and cell wall. Their cell wall is not made up of plants, which is made up of peptidoglycan cell wall. Inside the bacterial cell there is a genetic material, DNA and RNA, deoxyribonucleic acid and ribonucleic acid, but this is not mainly contained inside the typical nucleus. Bacteria is one of the member of kingdoms and are single celled or unicellular without separate nucleus, but those members of all bacteria differ from the plant cell because of plant cell is made up of cellulose cell wall and bacterial cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. Based on this peptidoglycan, as it is the bacterial members are different. They have thick peptidoglycan and thin peptidoglycan, whether gram positive and gram negative bacteria. Some bacteria have additional features like flagella that's used for movement, and some bacteria also contain protective slime capsules. It's an outer cover that can protect a bacteria. We call it capsule. So these bacteria all are microscopic and they can reproduce by binary fission. Binary fission means by splitting into two, and some of them are autotropics. Their mode of nutrition is autotropic, but many of them are heterotropic. They are dependent on others, and they are widely distributed in areas of fresh and salt water, in the areas of rocks and the soils, and they are mainly found in the barks of trees. So this bacteria, some members are photosynthesizing their food. We call it blue-green algae or cyanobacteria. Those cyanobacteria members can have, they do not contain any flagella. They are a stagnant type of bacteria, blue-green algae. They have no any sexual reproduction. They are autotrophs, and asexually they can undergo by having fragmentation. Again, bacteria have their own structures. The main variety structures of bacteria are found. Their body plan is different. So these bacteria have different shapes and their size. Some are rod-shaped, which are a bacillus type of bacteria. Some are round-shaped or spheres. Some are coma-shaped and some are spirals. So these are one of the different shapes and size of bacteria. So bacteria cause a disease. Many are harmless and rarely some of them are actively useful to the people. Some toxins of bacteria attack specific cells such as tetanus. Tetanus mainly attack our body cell, specific cell, which is known as neurons or nerve cell. Those neurons are mainly attacked by those type of bacteria. So if they can release toxins are poisonous, and those bacteria grow nearly everywhere and they can multiply and fast. Many bacteria can double every 30 minutes. So these are one of a group of pathogens. And bacteria have their own body plan. There are many body plans. In fact, you contain have millions of bacteria in your body. As in our body, bacteria mainly contained, let's say 90% of our body is made up of bacteria. This is universalists, biologists or medicans prove that. So they can live both in your skin and inside your body. So let's see one of the structures of bacteria. Bacteria, its typical structure contains an outer part known as capsule. They have cell walls. Their cell wall is made up of petroglycan, as told you before. Bacteria have flagella, which is used for swimming, but this flagella is not found for all bacteria. It is restricted or limited to some bacteria. Bacteria contain a liquid gel containing cell known as cytoplasm and capsule. Finally, bacteria also have a genetic material, but this genetic material is not contained in the nucleus. This is about a bacterial structure. This is a typical type of bacterial structure. They can have well advanced structures containing plasmid, the rings of DNA known as plasmid, ribosomes that are rolled to synthesize proteins, and nucleoids, the central part of those bacterial cell, and cytosol of cytoplasm, which is a liquid gel mainly made up. Then the another shapes of bacteria. Bacteria have different shapes. Let's say the first one is cocci shaped bacteria, cocci or round shaped bacteria, which are called spores, and the second one is rod shaped bacteria or bacilli, rod shaped bacteria, and the third one is spiral shaped bacteria or spirilla, and coma shaped bacteria like cholera or vibrocoma. They are named as vibrocoma. Those cholera causing bacteria have coma shaped. And if you look at the examples of those cocci shaped bacteria, staphylococcus, pneumococci, streptococci. Another example is one of Streptococcus mutanus cocci, which is leads to tooth decay. Streptococcus pneumococci, which is attacks our lung or respiratory systems, and those staphylococci that can attack a bleach. So these are one of a cocci shaped bacteria, which are spherical. The second one is rod shaped bacteria. Those rod shaped bacteria have, let's say example, tuberculosis, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Mycobacterium is a causative agent that leads to tuberculosis. Again, Clostridium tetani, that causative agent is Clostridium tetani to cause a tetanus, and Salmonella typhi that can cause Salmonella, which is spoils the food. They mainly have a number of flagella, this bacteria. And another one is Vibrio cholera and sepals are spiral shaped bacteria. Sepals causing treponema. Treponema pallidum is one of a bacteria that can cause sepals. Sepals is one of a sexually transmitted disease which are found in males and females. This is all about one of the shapes of bacteria. Another part is bacterial morphology and shape. If you look at this structure carefully, there are different shapes of bacteria which are having their own flagella. They can move. Some are staphylococcus, which are found in colonies in one area. Some are rod shaped, some are spirals, some are sphericals or cockeye-shaped bacteria. This is all about one of the structures of typical bacteria. So in week 1 of term 3, in today's lesson 1 and day 1, with our lesson 1 period, we have discussed totally about bacteria with their typical structures. If you have any question, you can ask. This is all about today's lesson. Thank you for your attentive listening. Bye bye.